Medieval castles, with their imposing walls, towering keeps, and elaborate fortifications, have long fascinated historians and the general public alike. These structures, which began to proliferate across Europe during the 9th century and peaked in prominence in the 12th and 13th centuries, were not merely military strongholds or symbols of noble power. They were also vibrant centers of daily life, playing host to a complex web of activities and inhabitants. Understanding the day-to-day life inside a medieval castle offers a window into the social, economic, and cultural fabric of the Middle Ages. The design of a medieval castle was intricately connected to its function as a defensive structure and a residence. Typically, a castle consisted of several key components. The keep, often the most fortified part of the castle, the keep was the primary residence of the lord and his family. It was also the last line of defense during an attack. The bailey-enclosed courtyards, known as baileys, housed various buildings like stables, workshops, and sometimes chapels. The inner bailey was often more secure and reserved for more essential functions, while the outer bailey accommodated more day-to-day activities. Walls and towers, thick walls, often topped with battlements and interspersed with towers, provided a formidable barrier against invaders. These towers served as watchpoints and strongholds during sieges. Gatehouses. As the main entry points, gatehouses were heavily fortified and featured mechanisms such as drawbridges and portcullises to control access. Each part of the castle played a role in the daily life and defense of its inhabitants. Life inside a medieval castle was highly hierarchical. At the top was the lord, who managed the estate and served as the local authority. The lady of the castle oversaw domestic affairs, including the management of servants and the education of children. Lords and ladies. The Lord's Day was filled with administrative duties, overseeing agricultural production, managing the household, and exercising judicial functions. The ladies' responsibilities included supervising the household staff, arranging meals, and ensuring that the castle ran smoothly. Knights and soldiers. Knights and soldiers were essential to the castle's defense. When not engaged in warfare or training, they maintained their equipment, participated in drills, and served as guards. They also played roles in courtly life, partaking in tournaments and feasts. Servants and craftsmen, a large retinue of servants, including cooks, cleaners, and stable hands, ensured the smooth operation of the castle. Craftsmen such as blacksmiths, carpenters, and masons worked in or near the castle, maintaining its structure and producing necessary goods. Peasants and farmers. Although peasants and farmers typically lived outside the castle, they were crucial to its sustenance. They provided food, labor, and during times of siege, additional manpower. The interior of a medieval castle, though designed for defense, was also a home. The keep, or the Great Hall, was the social heart of the castle, hosting banquets, meetings, and celebrations. These halls were often decorated with tapestries, weaponry, and furniture that reflected the wealth and status of the occupants. Meals and diet. Meals in a medieval castle were social events. The diet primarily consisted of bread, meat, and ale, supplemented by vegetables and fruits in season. Feasts were common, especially during festivals and important gatherings, showcasing the wealth of the lord. Entertainment and leisure. Leisure activities included hunting, hawking, and jousting, which were both pastimes and training for combat. Indoor entertainment ranged from music and dancing to games like chess and storytelling by minstrels. Religion and education. Chapels within the castle or nearby churches provided spiritual services. Education was often reserved for the nobility, with tutors teaching subjects like Latin, history, and chivalric code to young lords and ladies. Life in a medieval castle was not without its hardships. Despite their grand appearance, castles could be uncomfortable and cold, especially during winter. Sanitation was rudimentary, with waste disposal posing a constant challenge. The risk of siege meant that provisions had to be carefully managed, and the threat of conflict was ever present. Beyond their defensive and residential functions, castles were also centers of economic and political power. The lord of the castle often governed the surrounding lands, collecting taxes and dues from the local populace. The castle served as a court where justice was administered and a safe haven for the local community in times of conflict. Thank you kindly for watching.